Well, good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folari. Today, we're crossing all the way over to Kebbi State to sort of hear from them. And one of the more important things, unfortunately, going on in Kebbi is the tussle, shall we say, the battle that they have with insecurity in that state. It's quite topical now. And to sort of tell us all about it, give us an insight into the challenges they are facing and how indeed they are coping, we have with us, we're happy to say, the Commissioner for Information and Culture in Kebbi State, Alhaji Yakubu Ahmed. A fine morning to you, Mr. Commissioner.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Indeed, it's our pleasure. Unfortunately, this is how, well, we probably slip in some other positive things about Kebbi as well. But the insecurity challenge, a news agency of Nigeria's survey recently says that up to 23 local governments across Sokoto, Zamfara, and Kebbi have been battling insecurity. Okay. Staying with Kebbi now, how is it? Because we know that there was a time when you had to go as far as suspending mining in the communities that have mining. What's the progress report? How bad is it? Is it getting better?
Before I go into your question proper, I want to make clarification that the suspension of mining activities had nothing to do with insecurity. In any case, the issue of mining has been taking place for a very long time before the issue of insecurity reared its head. The government suspended mining activities on the basis of lack of proper registration,
yes,
lack of regulation, and that's just it. So it has nothing to do with insecurity.
Oh, it had nothing to do with insecurity. Oh, okay. All
nothing. Of course, we made reference to it as one of the reasons, but the most important reason is that government wants to regularize it in a way that it will benefit the government and the people directly.
Okay, because I know that you've said that you're not unmindful of the fact that mining is under the exclusive legislative list, but bearing in mind, looking at it and the impact it is having is why you were highly concerned.
Yeah.
But thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah.
So
thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yes.
On the issue of insecurity, I would like us to try to look at where we were yesterday,
okay,
in terms of banditry activity, and also I would like us to look at where we are today and where we are likely going to be tomorrow,
okay,
in view of the actions, pronouncements, and commitment the present administration in Kebbi State has shown so far. I want to make this clarification further again, that the preponderance of attacks from, as far as banditry is concerned in Kebbi State, is mostly, it used to be mostly a hit and run thing. Most of the bandits have cells, not in Kebbi mostly. They have cells in Niger State, they have cells in Zamfara State, they have cells in Sokoto State. And these are states that are bordering the part of Kebbi State where there are flashpoints of banditry activities. They come in, attack, and run away. When they packed the girls they did in Yaui, that was what they did. They came all the way from bushes in Niger State into Kebbi State and abducted students. What I want us to understand now is that in the past, before this government came into office, I can agree with you that attacks were predominantly in Danko, was a good part of Kebbi State. This is a very wide mass of land, and this is the local government that is bordering the three states I'm talking about: Niger, Zamfara, and Sokoto State. They used to come in, attack, and run away, and it became a source of worry for the government. But since this government came into office, our governor, Dr. Nasiru Idris Orangondu, had come up with quite a number of measures that have proved to be invaluable, that have proved to be good. And as a result of that, we have witnessed a tremendous reduction in the cases of attacks by these bandits. Mostly what the governor did was he increased the level of synergy interfacing with security agencies. Just like in every state of the federation where there are banditry activities or criminal activities, you have the army, you have the police, you have the civil defense, you have the DSS, you have the vigilante groups, and in our case, you have hunters as well. This is the security architecture that is prevalent in the parts where we have these banditry activities in Kebbi State. I want to give you one small brief. We have at the moment about 8 locations where there are security deployments, permanent or semi-permanent security deployment. And this has resulted in minimizing greatly the activities and movement of bandits around Kebbi soil. These movements or these deployments came about. They were new to us because it has never happened before the coming of this administration. They were new and they were deliberate. The governor had gotten across to all the stakeholders in the security apparatus in Kebbi State and the nation at large, and all the advices and suggestions that came out of those interactions. He was able, regardless of the amount of money that was involved, regardless of the billions of dollars that would obviously be spent, he, regardless of that, took decisions that had proved to be very good, that have proved to change the narrative of response to insecurity activities in Kebbi State. One of them is that we have Danko Wasagu. I'm telling you about deployments. We have, of course, Danko Wasagu. We also have Augi, Mayama, we have Jega, Sulu, and 3 other locations that I wouldn't want to mention for obvious reasons. These deployments have changed the entire thing because lately, since this governor came into office, you will agree with me that we have no situation. In the past, our governor or government officials had to be discussing those flashpoints, condoling people, sending messages of assurances to people because of killings now and then. Now it's no longer the case. We obviously have pockets of problems here and there, but they are so minor that we, considering where we're coming from, we want to believe that these measures that have been taken are working, and because we are witnessing a reduction, inshallah, we'll get to that time when we deal with it sufficiently.
Okay, indeed. So, you know, one of the practices that is going out of fashion is the whole matter of negotiating with these criminals. So that is entirely ruled out in Kebbi, no matter the challenges.
No, in Kebbi, we have never had reasons to negotiate with criminals. In fact, we detest it because in the long run, it has no useful purpose. We have never had history of negotiating with them. Rather than negotiating with them, we are coming up with measures to deal with them decisively. And these actions I have enumerated have completely resulted in dealing with them decisively. That is not to say we should throw away completely the option of talking, the option of negotiation, when it is absolutely the only option left. But since we have this option of dealing with them first, showing them our capacity to take the fight to them, showing them the ability, the resilience of our people, because I want to believe that, I want you to know that our people are the resilient type. When you go to the Zulu part of the state, you know the history of Zulu. They are warriors, they are courageous. That is the same story you have in the entire Kebbi landscape. We will not give in to their antics, we will not give in to their threats, we will not go down low to talk to them in order to, in any case, in Zamfara State and other states where the options of negotiations were agreed or were worked on, that did not stop them from completely coming back to wreak havoc on the people.
Okay.
So it's not an option for us.
Okay, so going forward, as you said, you'd like to sort of portion it into where we were yesterday, where we are now, and again, looking, ahead into the future, would you say the matter is then very much in hand as far as the citizens of Kebbi is concerned? The security...
Yes, well...
Please continue.
Go ahead. Okay, one thing I should have spoken about before now is the issue of why we have this synergy with the security apparatus, which has resulted in the kind of effective developments that have been made in Kebbi State. We've had reasons to be able to provide all manner of assistance to our security personnel. Of course, as you know, it's the responsibility of the federal government to provide security at that level. But being a nominal chief security officer of the state, the governor has been up and doing, has reached out to. There are certain things that one cannot say, certain things because of obvious security implications. There are quite a number of measures that have been taken already by our government in conjunction with security agencies. But coming here to divulge them may, in the end, complicate matters for us. So, as a politician, it will look very, very inviting for me to beat our drums and begin to itemize what we have done in terms of ensuring security for our people. But as I said earlier, the implications are so high that it was not going to be worth it. Having said that, I would like also to make small effort to emphasize what the governor has, or the Kebbi State government has done in this regard. Okay. You see, in the case of security personnel, each security man that dies in service of protecting the people of Kebbi State in the fight against banditry, a large sum amount of money has been reserved for his family by the Kebbi State government. This we have 1.3 million naira for the family of any fallen soldier or any fallen security man for the family, for his own family. As soon as that happens, automatically this amount is taken to the family. We also have a policy of ensuring complete medication for those wounded in action. 100%, the Kebbi State government has taken the responsibility of treating any wounded personnel that has, in the course of a fight against banditry. In the case of retiring officers, any officer who is involved in this fight in Kebbi State that retires in service and he happens to be on the battlefield, the state government also has reserved a point of between 2 to 10 million naira, depending on circumstances, to that particular officer. I'm saying this, ordinarily I shouldn't be saying this because it's something that shouldn't be said for reasons that's known to all. But then, in order to push forward the effort the Kebbi State government has done, and the effort is still making, it's important for our people to know part of the things we've been doing secretly that has proved to be critical in ensuring the security of lives and property in Kebbi State. I'm not saying completely that these actions have resulted in the total annihilation of insecurity. That is not possible. But we are somewhere where it was completely unpalatable for us. We are now in a situation where we're dealing with the situation very, very effectively. And we have projected that in the future, in the nearest future, the actions taken by the state government in conjunction with the security agencies, gallant security agencies, is going to take us to a situation where Kebbi State will be largely free from bandit attacks. Don't forget, as I've been saying all the time, Kebbi is, inshallah, going to experience a bumper harvest from the yield from the farms is going to be just normal. And this is because even from Zamfara, Niger, and Sokoto states, you have an influx of farmers and people because of attacks in those areas. They come into Kebbi, settle down, and continue to do their farming. This is the truth. What I would like journalists to do, honestly, I'm a journalist myself. I detest armchair journalism. I would rather have journalists coming to Kebbi State all these claims we are making, all these claims were projected. I would rather have journalists coming to go there themselves. I can help the team. Let's go and verify all these claims we are making. As I said earlier, I'm not saying it is completely uprooted, but we are in the course of doing that because of actions we have taken, and these actions are to us unique to us. And I would rather hope that journalists come around to verify the evidence we are making of having taken measures that are dealing with these problems of banditry. Don't forget, we have our own civilian JTF, Joint Task Force, as they used to have elsewhere. Recently, the state government also came out with a policy of forming a group of young men take the fight to the bandits. You see, the state government launched its own a couple of days ago. What has not been divulged in terms of what the Kebbi state government has done is that 2-3 months ago, we already have more than 400 young men that are going or undergoing training, preparatory to mobilizing them, preparatory to unleashing them on these bloodthirsty bandits that are trying to turn our states into a theater of war. We have already reached a point where if we want tomorrow to mobilize them into the bush, we'll do that. And let me say one thing. While we are at work in the southern part of Kebbi State dealing with the infiltration of bandits from across the states bordering us, we're also not unmindful of the fact that we have pockets of kidnappings in the interland, in Bonza, in Jeddah, in the bushes. We have noticed some activities of bandits. But as I said earlier, we are dealing with them on the fringes in the southern part of the state. They are rushing out, either back into their cells in Niger, Kaduna, Zamfara, and Sokoto, or they try to come into the state and hide. In the course of hiding, they try to earn a living by picking 1 or 2 people into the bush and getting some money. We are taking measures. There are things I wouldn't want to divulge, honestly. If I am to, and you see, it is in our interest. It is in our interest as politicians to divulge this information because we can make political capital out of them. But when you look at the consequences that will be there for us, the consequences of compromising our plans, the consequences of divulging our secrets, otherwise, we'll come out to outline what we have done. People will begin to clap for us because they know this is what we should have done that should have been done a long time ago, even before the adoption of this country. But then, as I said earlier, I want the people of Kebbi State to trust us, trust the government of National Idris. Yeah, because already we are seeing a reduction in the activities of banditry, and that already we are also seeing that we are going to have a bumper harvest as a result of these commitments and actions by the state government. We have not told you that before when the rainy season was just coming, we were just starting, our governor magnanimously provided fertilizer, 2.3 or 4 billion naira worth of fertilizer free of charge to our farmers in order to aid them to produce the food we eat in the state and the food we eat in the country as well. You know, Kebbi State, as I said, is a potential food basket of Nigeria. We have the arable land, we have the industrious and able-bodied young men that can be used to till the land and provide our staple foods. What are our staple foods in Nigeria? Rice. In Kebbi State, River Niger crisscrossed into Kebbi State by almost 100 kilometers. River Rima crisscrossed into Kebbi State by over 240 kilometers. River Ka, we call it Gulbin Ka, snaked into Kebbi 2 by over 230 kilometers. And when you have this kind of rivers, you don't have any reason whatsoever to be hungry. We have no any reason whatsoever for us to be poor, to be wanting to I mean, whatever are the consequences of food insecurity in Kebbi State if the right leadership is provided? And alhamdulillah, the coming of this governor has proved that the leadership can transform and reorient the mindset of the people. If you go to Borno, if you go to, that is the shores of the Lachak. If you go to Gombe, the Dagenkowa Dam, if you go to Kano where there are farming activities, you see the preponderance of farmers and fishermen are from Kebbi State. In Borno, they have their towns, exclusively their own towns. These are farmers that went there to fish and produce the eatable food. If they can go somewhere and perform, the right leadership, if the right leadership is given here in Kebbi State, I can assure you, Kebbi can feed this country. Rice, wheat, and sugarcane. And that is why you have many, many rice mills in Kebbi already. More than 7 or 8 of them, including cottage ones. It tells you that we have the capacity to produce rice, and that's why the rice mills are coming. We expect the sugar companies to also come because Kebbi State has the arable land to produce the right quantity of sugarcane for sugar to be produced, for animal feed to be produced. We also have the arable land for wheat cultivation. So I think, by and large, we are set to go. What we missed in the past is, I think, the right leadership. We now have the kind of leadership required. It's only 4 months old. I will ask the people of Kebbi State, people of Nigeria, give our governor time to also assist in suggestions. We also rightly go out of the country and within the country and outside the country to investors in agricultural-based investors come and invest in Kebbi State.
All of this is very cheering news, especially when you look at where we're coming from in terms of how you've been managing, as it were, the challenge of insecurity. And I suppose it's best to, of course, and it's right to concentrate on the positives. But there are challenging statistics according to the news agency of Nigeria. Its survey said that, and it's a mark of how far we've come, if the news agency of Nigeria was reporting that between 2019 and 2023, you know that very challenging figure of up to 2,500 persons would have lost their lives. But if you were to put that in perspective for us, surely between 2019 and 2023, has it been tapering, going down? Was it higher at one time and it is going down now? Surely it's not. The figure is not equally divided among those years.
It may not look good. The figures, the numbers may not look good because of where we're coming from. We have new government just 4 months ago across the country. And these governments are taking different measures. In Katsina, you've seen what has happened. I can tell you that most of the states in the Northwest that are battling insurgency and banditry all over are coming up with completely new measures. What I think we will do as a people is to give these measures time. There is no way we can deal with the situation immediately. There is no measure you can take that will completely stop insurgency promptly. Just like that. You have to have a plan. You have to give that plan time to work. You have to have the ability to make changes as you move on. The Kebbi State government I've told you the measures we have taken. Katsina State has taken some certain measures too. And I'm sure the neighboring states of Zamfara, Sokoto, and to some extent Kaduna are also keen into it. And I think it's important that we give these measures time to see how they end up reflecting on our need to have a secure society. In Kebbi State, honestly speaking, as I told you, it's a hit and run thing. They don't have shells as such in Kebbi State. Even if they come in and stay for a day or two, it's temporary planning measure for them. Attack, run away into the neighboring states, plan, attack, and coming. That has been dealt with completely in the last 2-3 months. They no longer have the capacity to launch attacks as they used to. I'm not saying that they will not hit around, but what I'm saying is that we're on top of the situation. Mm-hmm. The measures taken by the state governments are working, and that let's give them time As you see, the governors of the northwestern states affected by banditry are coming and putting heads together. They are exchanging notes, exchanging ideas, and they will be able to deal with it decisively. At the end of the day, what we need in the northwestern state is a peaceful atmosphere, a free banditry environment. Because if you look at the hardships people are going through, you combine that with the insurgency taking place, where people cannot go to farm, where people cannot earn a living, a living that will help them become responsible members of the society. That cannot be in any way acceptable. But as I said earlier, let's give our governors time, let's pray for them, let's see how or where this just will take us.